Hi, and welcome to our webinar. So today we're talking about getting started with data and getting it right. And this session is aimed at decision makers in organizations who are looking to make use of data, or they feel there's more value to be had from the data that they have, or maybe you're planning your data journey from where you are and you're looking to make your next move. So we're here to help with that. So I'm joined by Alex. Alex, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Pleasure to be here, Anthony. So my name is Alex Katlan, and I'm a manager and data engineer here at Faptic. For the past 5 years, we've been collaborating with various companies in the finance and insurance industries on designing and implementing their data layer to their unique needs. Our primary focus would be data migrations, ETL pipelines, and architecting in the AWS cloud environment, but not limited to.
Great, that's super. Thank you for joining us, Alex. So I'm Anthony Hodson, and I joined Faptic earlier this year. And I've spent a lot of time in cloud native tooling. I've been in public cloud, often with fintech. I actually started as a software engineer and did some work in fintech. I had to be very careful what I typed into computers back then. I've got experience architecting. I've led cross-functional teams and so on. And I'm here to do some technology strategy with Faptic. Now, Faptic are a technology organization that provides support and engineers and services to organizations. And often that's to better build data platforms and to leverage data, as well as other technology changes like digital transformation. So that's what Faptic do. And often that is what we're talking about today, right? Data warehouses, MI, AI, even LLMs. But all this comes back to data, right? How do we make the data work? So back in February this year, I attended CDAO, which is a data conference where organizations of various sizes and scales and parts of the industry volunteered to share their data journey. And it was to bring their wisdom together to enable community to move forward. And there was very little talk of models or tooling per se. I mean, there were vendors there, but primarily it was people, process, and technology, and those things were in that order. And there were some excellent speakers, from the likes of governments sharing what they've learned. Very important that we use that, right, to move our countries ahead and keep our people fed and looked after. There were also startups and banking organizations as well, with the likes of Nomura in there. Now, there was a chap called Niresh Raja, and he had some excellent points. He's been on this journey, and this is what he said about how to move things along as you're looking to do data. So I'm going to read it so I get it just right. People think that everyone is doing it, and it turns out that we're all trying. Right? So you need to create a vision, you need to create a strategy, you need to make that a business strategy and do data within that. You want to do quick wins that are less than a year to return value. And once you've got the plan, you need to move ahead with purpose. And I think this gives everyone a sense that even if you're not doing this today, you can really make this work for you by following this advice. So for the rest of the session today and the questions we go through, we're going to have a little dig into those pieces of advice. But I think it's interesting to consider that we're sort of playing with fire in data at the moment. So we're not in the stage where we fully understand everything. In fact, I think we're more in the alchemy stage of it, right? And this will become a full-blown science. And I know there are data scientists today, right? And there is a lot of science. We've been dealing with data for a long time. But I think this will become a field where we gain a lot of knowledge, and what we know in 5 years will be quite different to what we know now. So we're all working, and we've seen this, how transformers have been brought in, right? The changing of the landscape. As we look to this goal of becoming a data-driven organization, both internally and externally, to enrich our products and services, we don't often, unless we're a really big company, have the ability to build out a fully manned, fully personed team of people to build a data platform, because there's so many pieces that go into it. The expense is very high, the investment is very high, and also the literacy in the company to leverage that investment needs to be built along with the capabilities. So this is an expensive asset. We want to make sure that it delivers that value within that year. So that being the case, we want to make this strategic and incremental investment into this data platform. And we want to do that. Set a vision, choose a goal, build a team, choose a project, build a data foundation, build a practice, and then build velocity, right? So cycle around that and get it working for your team. And all the while that's happening, we're building data fluency within the organizations. And this is what we're going to break it down to today. So we're going to start with setting a vision. Setting a vision, right? Change is hard and changing people is harder. And we've got to overcome many obstacles, whether that's motivation, whether that's resources, skills, technology, and probably the biggest one, belief, right? Are we going in the right direction? And the goal of leadership is to incentivize and to mobilize. And that is to set out that mission that customers, employees, and investors, in that order, want to come along on. Okay. And the vision is about alignment. And it ties back to something, change management, right? So it's a good Wikipedia article on that. But I quite like ADKAR. Awareness is the first one. Kotter's 8 steps, right? Understanding the reason for change. But the best explanation I had of a good vision, so not the vision itself, but what makes a good vision, was by Graham Weston. What we want is to be a valued member of a winning team on an inspiring mission. Goal of this is to elevate the change to be part of that mission. Because if it's a business strategy, we're going to carry it through. But if it's an IT project, there's a huge risk that it's just going to be put to one side. So the vision should bring the people along with it. Now, Alex, you've seen this done well. I'm sure you've seen it done badly. What's the vision rather than goals that you see working well when an organization takes to a data practice?
You're completely right. And Nuresh is completely right in saying that one of the main pillars of any company should be vision. Successful vision setting involves clear communication, alignment, and inclusivity, Anthony. A few examples of this vision, like you gave one, if you allow me, I'll go with the one from Google, to provide access to the world's information in one click. Or IBM, for example, to be the world's most successful and important information technology company. These vision statements were clear, inspiring, and deeply integrated in every aspect of the business, guiding decision, and obviously the driving innovation behind it. Leadership consistently communicated their vision, aligning employees, customers, and also investors with a shared purpose. The vision elevated the projects, from my opinion, making them integral to the business strategy rather than a standalone initiative. Like you said, Anthony, I've seen the contrast of this. I've observed organizations struggling with a clear vision. Projects often seem disjointed and teams lacking a unified direction. This led pretty much to fragmented efforts, low motivation, and inefficiencies. Without a compelling vision, initiatives felt like more like tasks rather than a broader strategy for the company, resulting pretty much in diminished engagement and suboptimal outcomes at the end. A clear vision and alignment, from my point of view, are crucial for cohesive and motivated team working towards a common goal.
This is the end of this part. Interested in the rest of the series? Follow Faptic Technology on LinkedIn or visit faptic.com/mastering-data.